Over the years, Rocket League has added many new, exciting, and most importantly, useful features to the game. Today, however, we are not talking about any of those things. Instead, we are counting down my top 10 most useless things in Rocket League. We are going to start off with things that are definitely useless, but aren't necessarily bad. Kicking off our list today will be Team Color Boost Meters. For anyone who doesn't know, you can find a setting in the interface section where you can make your boost meter match your team color. I am trying to find the practicality in this. The only reason I can think of for this to be useful is to show which team you are on when your car colors do not match your team colors. The question I have is, who is that useful for? Perhaps if you are really low ranked, you may forget which team you are on, and if your car doesn't remind you, maybe the boost meter will? Additionally, if you are creating content, it may be helpful for your audience to be able to identify what team you are on if your car does not. However, the side of the field you are defending and the side you are trying to score on should make that pretty clear. The main reason this makes it in at number 10 is because the team colors actually dull the overall color of the meter, and make it harder than the default to see out of the corner of your eye. This makes it harder to identify the amount of boost you have quickly, so in my opinion, this was a totally useless addition and one that I will never use. This is one that I bet everyone could have seen coming: camera shake. I believe the point of this setting is to give you a more immersive experience. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I definitely don't need to see my camera bouncing all over the place when I jump or after goals are scored to be immersed in a game of Rocket League. This setting really does just serve as a distraction to the player. While it is not the most egregiously harmful setting on this list, it definitely is completely useless, and therefore earns its spot at number 9. I think that anyone who came to Rocket League and had played NFL, NBA, and NHL games before were initially attracted to the season mode. I know I was, as I had a blast in the season mode of various sports games. Unfortunately, the novelty of this season mode quickly wears off, as you come to realize that the AI in this game has no idea what it is doing. Don't worry, we'll talk more about the bots in a little bit. I am struggling to find an audience that this mode would be useful for. Obviously, as you climb the ranks, there is absolutely no reason for you to go back to season mode, as you will be spending all of your time in ranked. If you are new to the game, I don't think season mode is useful for you either. Since the AI does not act anything like regular players, there is very little you will actually learn from playing this mode. Even if you can't go into ranked, casual is still a much better place to learn and play than season mode ever was. Thus why season mode lands itself here at number 8. Now, staying in the same lane as number 8, we are going to talk about everyone's favorite thing in Rocket League. That's right, we're talking about the bots. Now, these are definitely not the most useless thing, which is why they appear here at number 7, especially when you consider the prospect of being able to play against them 1v2, 1v3, or 1v4. Playing against them that way has its advantages. The main area where they become useless is as you get higher in rank. There are simply no harder bots for you to go to for training. As RL Jim and countless other people have shown, it is possible to make higher level AIs for players to train against. Nexto is a great example of that. Unfortunately, we have the current bots in rank situation going on that has slightly tainted Nexto's name, but that bot is a great example of the level of bot that would be possible in this game that would give players great training resources. Instead, the hardest bot challenge we have is a 1v4, and I am fairly confident that anyone Diamond or higher would be able to win against 4 bots without too much trouble. This lack of scalability and usefulness throughout a player's Rocket League journey is what lands bots at number 7. Everyone can agree that training packs are a great place to learn mechanics. I can speak from experience, as training packs are the first place I got comfortable with double taps. Unfortunately, the training pack browser in the game makes it extremely difficult to find training packs unless you know the specific code. While they do have featured and a browse section, these sections do not offer anywhere close to the amount of training packs that are out there. If you want to be able to find the largest variety of training packs, you will have to look outside of the game to prejump.com. Here, you can explore all kinds of training packs. You can even search for a specific kind of pack. Grab the pack's code and you are ready to pull it up in-game. The fact that Rocket League itself does not have a browser capable of doing any of this is what lands it at number 6. The top 5 is where we get to some truly horrendous things which I honestly cannot even attempt to explain the existence of. Coming in at number 5 is how poorly you can have nameplates displayed in this game. Everyone knows that nameplates are the key to being able to see your opponents around the field. Personally, I like to have mine as big as possible, so I can easily keep track of everybody. Rocket League, on the other hand, thought, you know what would be a great idea? Let's make the nameplates so small that you can't even read what the player's name is. And even better, let's add a setting where the name only shows when the player is close enough. That'll make it really easy to see what other players are doing around the field. I just cannot fathom why having the nameplates be like this is even an option. It is beyond horrible to play with, and without an obvious use for it, it easily lands itself in the top 5 here. There is definitely a debate among lower ranked players on whether you should be in ball cam or car cam for the majority of the game. As rank increases, most players come to the understanding that ball cam is the way to go. The one thing that I never hear a debate on is whether the ball cam mode should be toggle or hold. I have never met anybody who feels super strongly about holding ball cam. In my mind, there is only one thing that comes from using ball cam in hold mode. That is that it takes up one of your fingers way more than it needs to be, and makes doing pretty much anything else much more difficult, as you need to have ball cam held down to stay focused on the ball. Maybe someone can make a case for why this is useful in the comments, but the fact that it makes doing anything else more difficult by taking up one of your fingers has it settling in nicely at number 4. For everyone who is newer to Rocket League, there have been many quality of life changes that have been incredibly helpful for the entire player base. One such change was making the goalposts transparent. For anyone who doesn't know, when Rocket League first came out, if you were sitting inside one of the goals, you were not able to see through the goalpost or the back wall. This means that if the stadium had a clear wall, such as on Manfield, you could see through it. But if the wall was solid, as it is on Utopia Coliseum, all you saw was a solid wall. This made it much more difficult to keep track of the ball, as you could not clearly see it. While the change to transparent goalposts was welcome, the question I have is, why are you able to turn it off? In what world would anybody actually choose to not be able to see through the back wall? Much like holding ball cam, the only thing that comes from turning off transparent goalposts is a disadvantage. I cannot think of many things more useless than giving yourself a disadvantage, which lands turning off transparent goalposts here at number 3. Everyone has preferences when it comes to settings, whether the settings are for the camera or for controls. Everyone has a look and feel that makes them more comfortable. However, with how far the sliders go for both camera settings as well as the sensitivity for steering, aerials, and even controller dead zone, you can be left with an experience that is fully unplayable and looks like this. No one in their right mind would ever choose to play a game like this, although somehow I still managed to win, but that's neither here nor there. There is no reason that players should be able to push the settings this far. With how bad they look and feel, I cannot imagine that anyone, even players totally new to the game, could experience this and think to themselves, yeah, this is how it's meant to look and this is how it's meant to feel. If no one would ever think of seriously using something, why is it even possible? The extremes of settings easily places itself at number 2. However, it pales in comparison to our number 1 spot. I think there is one thing that we can all agree is the most useless thing in Rocket League. If you haven't figured it out yet, I don't think you'll be surprised. The number 1 most useless thing in Rocket League is, drumroll please, your teammates. Can we think of anything more useless than when we are God's gift to Rocket League and our teammates hold us back from our true potential? I mean, who do they think they are? We obviously play perfect Rocket League every single game. So the thing holding us back has to be our teammates, right? Obviously not. Teammates in this game are extremely helpful, and while you might get one every now and again who aren't playing their best game, it is rarely your teammates' fault alone that things aren't going well. Joke and tangent aside, on to the real number 1. The true number 1 most useless thing in Rocket League is, real drumroll this time, the hard attached camera in replays. There are a lot of different ways you can manipulate the camera in replays. A lot of them are really cool and helpful, especially in terms of content creation. However, there is one way you can use the camera which I cannot understand the purpose for, and the more you see of it, the worse it gets. Now, you can switch the camera to a specific player, obviously we all know that, but then you can set it to this thing called hard attach. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, what this means is that whichever way the car flips, the camera will flip with it. Anyone who may get sick from intensive movement on the screen may want to look away. Now, this is great and all, right? Very immersive as the camera moves with the car. But why would anyone want to look at this? Just wait, it gets worse. Not only can you hard attach to the cars, you can hard attach to the ball as well. That is when you get this masterpiece. I cannot think of any reason any of this needs to be in the game, as it seems to me that it serves zero purpose. You don't learn anything from being able to view replays in this manner. It actually makes it impossible to see what is going on. For all these reasons, the hard attach camera setting in replays, especially being able to hard attach to the ball, is easily the most useless thing in Rocket League. Do you think I missed anything that should have been in my list? Let me know with a comment down below. Of course, if you enjoy videos like this and other videos that I have produced, please consider clicking that bright red subscribe button right down below this video. It really does help me out a lot more than you guys realize, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.